I laid there crying in the middle of the living room floor of an empty house that used to be mine. I was broke. I was broken. My credit was shot. I had no place to live. I had to sell my car in the divorce. All I had left was my motorcycle. The brokenness stayed with me like gum stuck to the bottom of my shoe. Life went on, but I wasn't living. I was existing, definitely not living. Surviving, not thriving. And that went on for almost a decade until I got sick and tired of being sick and tired. Saving $250,000 in gold and silver and cash over 4 years wasn't the hard part. Getting off the psychological floor, that was the hard part. Most people think building wealth is difficult, but that's not really true. Most people never build it because they're building wealth in the wrong direction. Like the saying goes, it's not easy, but it's simple. The problem is most financial experts focus on what to do, like how to save, how to invest, what to invest in, how to budget. But that's the simple part. I can give you the wealth formula in under 5 seconds. Ready? Reduce your taxes, spend less than you make, invest the difference. Boom, that's it. So if it's just that simple, why is it so hard? Because most of us haven't mastered the truest secret to building wealth. And as my Uncle Rick Rule says, it lives to the right of your left ear and to the left of your right one. If you've ever felt stuck or wonder why wealth seems out of reach, I'm going to show you the real reason most people never get ahead and how you can break through just like I did. Between what I'm going to share in this video and the 18-page workbook I'm going to give you for free, it's titled Your Financial Wellness Blueprint. You'll have everything you need to replicate what I did for your life and your situation. What is good, Stackers University? It's so good to have you here with me today. I've got a lot to share. So let me start by giving you two of the biggest shifts that I had to make in order to stack $250,000 in under 4 years. The first shift was realizing that the barrier is you. The barrier was me. The thing standing between where you are and what you want isn't knowledge. If knowledge was all it took, we would all be millionaires by now. We all walk around with supercomputers in our pockets. Access to information isn't the issue. The real question is, why aren't you doing it? That's not judgment, because as I've shared, after I lost it all, I didn't do it for almost 10 years. Before I lost everything, I had done what most people would have dreamed about. Bought my first rental property with $5,000, flipped it a year later for a $100,000 profit, rolled it into two 4-unit buildings tax-free using a 1031 exchange, picked up a distressed property from someone else for $2,000, refied that property a year later, pulled out $20,000 tax-free from that property, bought 3 more single-family homes, and then I did a $1 million deal with the wrong partner, and it took me out. So trust me when I say, I'm not judging you. I didn't stay stuck because I didn't know how to build wealth. I stay stuck because I hadn't dealt with what was going on inside me. That leads to point number 2, which is critical because it just might save your marriage, your sanity, and your future wealth. How do I know? Well, I definitely lost 2 of those 3 during my time. Shift number 2 is that you need an unwavering, strong why. I mean, so critically strong and important that you would run through a brick wall that was on fire if your dream was on the other side. It has to be because the world will give you a million reasons to stop or never start. For me, that's why I was Mrs. Stacker and my daughter. It wasn't about providing for them. It was about leaving them wealth that outlives me. It wasn't about nicer cars or a bigger house. It's about a legacy. And this is where most people stay stuck in life, thinking they just need to get more hustle when what they really need is the next shift. Shift number 3, you have goals. You might even have a strategy for success, but you still have a mindset for survival. Your goals and your budget spreadsheet say build wealth, but your internal voice still says, why bother? It will never happen. Everyone talks about the math, that $200 a month for 40 years will make you a millionaire. But here's the truth. It's not about the math. It's about a mindset. During the 4 years I stacked $250,000, my base income didn't really change, but I did find ways to make some money on the side. What really changed was my mindset, my beliefs, and how I aligned them with a renewed vision and set of values. That congruence allowed me to make different decisions. Notice I didn't say sacrifices. It wasn't about cutting back. It was about making value-driven decisions. I stopped spending over $1,000 a week in bars and restaurants because that no longer fit the life I was building. I saved $400 a month by quitting cigarettes. I examined every bill and expense. I started spending for value. I paid off my car a year and a half early by making extra payments so I could eliminate the $750 car note. I stopped getting a new car every 3 years. And here's the part no one talks about. None of this was all that hard, or is that hard when you have clarity. When I got clear on who I wanted to be, what I wanted for my life, my spending took care of itself. Turns out that I don't even think you need more willpower, you need more alignment. As my other dad preached growing up, it's not how much you make, it's how much you spend. It was simple because I knew what I wanted. They weren't sacrifices, they were intentional decisions that aligned with who I was becoming and wanted to be. I was deciding, not just accepting what life handed me. And here's what might surprise you: that simplification, it actually made me happier with my life. Because when you try to live a life that isn't supported by your beliefs and your behaviors, it will just never work. Shift number 4: I spoke well of and to myself. I know that sounds a little weird, but your mind will believe whatever you tell it and whatever you repeat. So you might as well say things that are worth believing. Until you become the person you want to be, you have to work extra hard at becoming that person. And that starts with, how do you talk to yourself? As the saying goes, if there's no enemy within, the enemy outside can do us no harm. In this case, it was the enemy within me. That was the only one capable of holding me back. Same one is capable of holding you back. This isn't about some new age psychology. This is brain science. Your brain literally cannot tell the difference between imagination and memory. So if that's true, imagine being the person you want to be, living the life you want to live. Visualize it, speak it, believe it. Let me also warn you, though, that imagination and visualization without a plan of action is really just an hallucination. Now, I know some of you are thinking, yeah, right, that all sounds nice, but it can't change. And I get it. I'm not here to argue with some of you, because if you believe it, even if it's a false belief, you will make it come true. I'm just sharing in hopes of inspiring you, in hopes of showing you what's possible from a regular person just like you, because I want you to win. What I'm sharing will save you years of pain. I created tremendous wealth once and I lost it because I didn't know what I know now. And I had to rebuild myself in order to rebuild my wealth. And now this is my mission: to help those who want to get help. Shift number 5: I never used a budget. And I know that's not what people are supposed to say. Don't get me wrong, budgets are a great tool, but I had something more important. I had a spending plan. As my vision, my values, my beliefs, and my actions came in alignment, something unexpected happened. I naturally started spending less. I knew where every dollar was going, but I didn't track my money in a spreadsheet. Why? Because I didn't want my subconscious trying to convince me to just go spend more because there were X dollars unspent in my bank account. This one habit changed how I thought about every dollar. It's ridiculously simple and it changed everything. Shift number 6: reset and automate. Every month, I reset my finances to zero. Two things happen, always on the same day. First, the reset. As soon as I got paid, I moved money that was left over from my checkings into a savings, or I used it to go buy more gold and silver. Second, I automated. I paid myself first automatically. This removed me from the decision. Because remember what I said earlier, the real battle is the enemy in me. This automatic transfer meant that I saved and paid myself first before I had a chance to spend. When you're just starting out, there's just a natural tendency to spend whatever's sitting in your bank account. So I eliminated that option for me. I also eliminated the friction of me having to remember to do it or justifying why I can't do it this month. If I slipped up and spent more money that month, no problem. I still had saved my money first. I still had dollars working for me. As you've heard me say before, every dollar is an employee, and their job is to go out, work, and get you more employees. And so whatever was left after I reset to zero, I just moved it away, out of sight, away from me, no temptation. Because I didn't need to see the money to feel safe. I needed to direct the money to stay aligned. And as I became more aligned, guess what? There was more money left over at the end of each month. Here's the mind shift that the most financial talking heads miss. You don't build wealth by doing what the wealthy do. You build wealth by becoming who the wealthy are. And I'll explain that more in a few moments. Everything I shared so far builds to this next point. And if you only remember this one thing from the entire video, please remember this. 7, the be, do, have philosophy. You may not remember every tactic I share, as I said, but remembering this and learning to live by this, you'll hold the most important key to building and keeping wealth. I first learned this principle over 25 years ago, teaching a freshman seminar class. While some people have tried to repackage it like it's a new modern insight, it has ancient roots as far back as the Sanskrit texts of India. And it goes like this: be the person first, do the action that person would take, have the results that naturally flow. That's it. Simple. Not easy, but simple. Be, do, have. Be, it starts with who you are, your mindset, your values, your belief, because only when those are in place and congruent can you do the actions with discipline and consistency to have the lasting wealth you desire. That's why most financial advice doesn't stick. Not because it's wrong, not because there's anything wrong with you, but because it's focusing on doing so that you can start having. But if you skip the being part, the whole thing collapses. Trust me, I got wealth doing what the rich and wealthy did. And I had some of what the rich had. And I lost it all. And it damn near broke me. It wasn't about the investments. It was about me and me not having the right mindset. I didn't have the values. I didn't have the belief system required to be the person who could grow and keep my wealth. That, my friends, is the deepest undeniable wealth truth I can share with you. Be, do, have. Wealth is a mental game, and it's won or lost long before you save or invest your first dollar. I know some of you were looking for me to break down how much I make and what percentage I saved, the exact accounts I use, blah, 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 blah. Those numbers, that's just noise. And for some of you, it would only become your favorite excuse for why you couldn't do what I did. Maybe you could save $250,000 in a year. Maybe you could save more. Maybe it's less. That's not the point. The point is, are you doing something? And if so, can you do more? My numbers are about my race, my life. You've got to run yours. Which leads me to a bonus shift. Shift number 8, stop comparing. Comparison is one of the most damaging habits we fall into. Those other people you see online, in your circle, or in your family, they're not your competition. You are your competition. You're running your own race with your own obstacles. And the only lane you need to stay in and keep your eyes focused on is yours. That comparison habit will steal your joy, your focus, and your momentum. You might, quote, only save $50,000 in 4 years. That's still a win. Celebrate that. Because real wealth isn't built in someone else's lane, it's built in yours. Because in the end, your wealth journey will always come back to this: be the person who can do what is required to have what you desire. If you made it this far, thank you, truly. And I have a free gift for you. It's something that's very close to my heart and something I wish I had 30 years ago. It's called your financial blueprint. Design your path to wealth, freedom, and peace of mind. It's an 18-page fillable workbook that will help you do the real work, the work of becoming the person you need and desire to be. To get it, just head over to stackersuniversity.com and sign up for our free monthly newsletter. No spam, no sharing your email. Just sign up for the newsletter so you can receive more content like this, content that is designed to enrich your life. And your copy of your workbook will be sent straight to your inbox. In the comments, what's one mindset shift you know you need to make to start building real wealth? Share one takeaway from this video, or simply put an A+ in the comments so that everyone knows that you always stack smarter and never stop learning.